Welcome back, everyone. My name is Andrew, the founder of CFO, and I'm finally back on my trading desk. And if you guys didn't know, I've been on vacation for about a week to Mexico, or specifically Ciudad de Mexico, and this is my second time there. However, I believe it's one of the most memorable vacation/trips I've had since the past couple of years. Now, obviously, I've been to Singapore, I've been to Japan, I've been to Korea, I've been to other different states and cities in the US, but I think this is going to be one of the most memorable trips I've ever had. Now, I still have a lot more trips down the pipeline that I've planned, and hopefully I can share that with you guys as well. But yeah, I'll be posting about this amazing trip here and there on my Instagram story, or maybe even as a post. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching my trips that I was posting during my stay in Mexico or Mexico. So with that, I kind of want to go over just a quick market review just off the top of my head and give you guys a little bit of an insight as to what you guys should be expecting into the end of this week and into the end of the month as we get near and closer to the middle of quarter three, right? So first of all, let's start off with the S&P 500 or SPY. Now, as you guys can clearly see here, we have officially topped out. However, the one interesting thing that we saw from last week's price action was that even if we saw a nice dive down, we didn't see, very, very big selling volume. Yes, last Friday, we had a little bit of a jump due to OPEX, but that's only because of OPEX. Now, with this volume, that we also, obviously there was an increase in volume, but this overall price drop wasn't too bad, is what I would say. From just an observational standpoint, this move down is really just a very shallow corrective dip that everyone was literally expecting, and also we needed this corrective dip. Now, if you guys remember from the past couple of weeks, I've been telling you guys that we need to be looking out for a potential for the markets to have this very shallow but corrective dip. And with those corrective dips, we should be seeing some rapid buying to see an intermittent bounce or bottom. And everything that I've just stated there literally happened last week and today. So what happened last week was that we topped out at the all-time high print of 565.16, officially creating a nice higher high pivot point. And then come Wednesday of last week, we had a nice gap down. And then on Thursday, we saw the follow through of that gap down as we saw a move lower. However, again, that volume was very interesting because on Thursday, the volume was lower, slightly lower compared to Wednesday's volume. And so, that clearly tells us that there isn't too much of a rapid sell-off. There isn't too much fear in the market. However, as long as we can see these continued shallow dips that get quickly and rapidly bought up, we should be seeing a rather strong uptrend into the rest of quarter three. All right. Now, let's kind of hone into what we should be expecting by the end of this month and into the middle of quarter three or the month of August. So far today, we officially got the confirmation that we want to be seeing these rapid dip buys after these very shallow corrective dips. And on this bounce today, we're able to hold over the daily 21 SMA, or my light blue line. Now, as I've clearly stated last week in the private CFO Discord, I said that the price needs to come back, ideally needs to come back in between the daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs. And once it does that, we should be seeing the price moving sideways and getting tighter as it continues to coil in between the areas of the daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs. And so far, that's exactly what we did today. And, even into tomorrow, I completely expect the markets to continue to move up higher to retest the daily 10 SMA, which it broke below back in Wednesday of last week and officially used the daily 10 SMA as an area of SMA resistance. So if that does occur tomorrow, rather than breaking over the daily 10 SMA, we should be seeing some very tightening price ranges in the next few days into the end of the month of this first month of this quarter, basically. So with SPY here, I truly expect to see some sort of market volatility crunch. I obviously stated this last night as well in the private CFO Discord. So if you guys have not read that, make sure you guys go back and read it. So we saw VIX being absolutely crushed today as well, even if the S&P 500 had a pretty I would say it's not too bullish of a day, but it was a good bounce. However, VIX had a horrible day as we saw market vol being absolutely crunched to the downside, right? So the S&P 500 should continue to move on up tomorrow and officially retest the daily 10 SMA, which has started to kind of flatline here around 557.30-ish. And there is a chance, now there is a slight probability that we can break over the daily 10 SMA, and that can really just bring us out the woods and completely start a new uptrend once again. But as I've stated last week and a couple weeks before that as well, I believe it's 2 weeks now officially, that there is a chance that we can just simply make a lower high pivot point compared to our current higher high pivot point, which is the all-time high print at 565.16. So, even if we do see a nice little peak over the daily 10 SMA, I'm not going to expect us to rally up higher until we, fill in this gap down area between last Tuesday and last Wednesday. I just want to see some tightening price volatility and price ranges as we continue to get stuck in between the daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs. And we would love to see some sideways price action to really just consolidate this nice move down that we saw last week. All right. And so as we head into August, all right, I'm going to be expecting at the minimum, these very, very tight consolidation price action that leads into higher highs and higher lows with very low volume. And then as we head into mid-August, so after all the earnings season is over, the height of earnings season, we should be seeing continued lower lows and lower highs, right? And I'll become a bit more specific as we continue to see more data from the markets, right? Now, again, if you guys have not read what I've stated last night in the private CFO Discord, make sure you guys go back because I talk a little bit more in detail of what I truly think of what we should be seeing in the overall markets for the next couple of trading days and weeks. All right, so that's it for SPY. Just remember that as we continue to potentially make those lower lows and lower highs as we head into August, the middle of quarter 3, we need to be watching this 540 to 550 range. All right, there could be a lower move below this 540 lower range level of support, and potentially the market could be eyeing this gap up that we saw between June 11th and June 12th. I also talked about this in last week's technical analysis video for the CFO Swing and Watch report, so make sure you guys go back to that. But again, just overall focus on this 10-point range between 550 and 540. All right, now for IWM, if you guys have not watched my Instagram story for today, you guys should know that IWM is now seriously beginning to consolidate after this impulsive short squeeze-like run to the upside. And if you guys didn't know, I've talked about IWM for months, even back in middle of quarter 1 of this year. So again, watch my Instagram stories. So IWM definitely today clearly showed why laggards are beginning to become quote unquote the leaders. Yes, they're still the laggards, but they're starting to show some market relative strength, overall market relative strength, and they're trying to become the new leaders as we continue to see sector and money rotations. So today clearly gave us that confirmation that that is still currently underway, and it should continue as we head into our first rate cut in September. And if you guys didn't know, the probability of a rate cut in the September FOMC meeting has gone up to over 90%. Okay, so make sure you guys take a look at that using the CME Fed Watch tool. I'll probably just give you guys a link down in the description box below, so make sure you guys check it out below. Okay, so again, IWM should continue to move on up higher as we head into the first rate cut in September's FOMC meeting. So that means that there is a lot more room for IWM to grind up higher as long as we continue to see some nice sideways consolidation for most of the month of August. And the end of July will most likely show the beginning, like it did today, of that consolidation phase. All right. So IWM perfect bounce at 216 last Friday, and today, right? So 216 to around 216.50, and today was a perfect day to add, which is exactly what I did to my longer dated positions on IWM. Right now, if you guys want to know more details and information, make sure you guys join and become a reader of the CFO Swing Watch report that comes out every single Sunday night in your inboxes, and become a member of the private CFO Discord community. All right, so that is it for the markets. I want to go over a swing trade idea that I personally have executed today in the private CFO Discord. My apologies, guys. I almost coughed there. It's the reason why I kind of stuttered there. But so Mara, right? Mara is our new swing trade position. Now, why did I get Mara? Well, first of all, if you guys didn't know, I've been burned multiple times on Mara as I continued to get stopped out over and over and over again. And unfortunately, I got chopped out as this continued to move sideways. And my last kind of chopped out moment was back in July 2nd when I was completely sidelined by shorts that came in at this $22 or 22.50 whole number resistance level. And so I got stopped out in July 3rd after taking that initial position in July 2nd. And unfortunately, I believe that was kind of my last straw for me. And I said, F it, I'm not looking at this anymore. However, in the next couple of trading days, we saw a huge resurgence of buyers who completely took out the shorts that were sitting at this very, very annoying resistance level at 22.50. And fortunately, we're able to see a nice breakout over this whole number level of resistance at 22.50. And now we have seen this ticker consolidating very, very well and flagging out as it continues to hold over the daily 10 SMA, which is now catching up to the price, which makes it even more of a picture-perfect textbook momentum or Momo bull flag, which I also mentioned in the CFO Discord, in the private CFO Discord, of course. And so if you guys want to take a look at that, make sure you guys read it. And so Mara here, I believe, will continue to make this bull flag and potentially break out higher in the next couple of trading days, or specifically by the end of this week, as we continue to see Bitcoin seeing some really great relative strength this past weekend and including today. So Bitcoin continues to run up higher on the probability of Trump and his new VP pick, JD Vance, who is notoriously known for being very supportive of cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, and just the overall adaptation of cryptocurrency in the overall life in the US, right? And there's a lot of other lawmakers who are just getting on board with this new currency that is supposed to, rule over the current fiat currency that we have right now. Right, so I'm not too well versed in that space, but I kind of know the general information of what and the reasons why people are more attracted to cryptocurrencies. Right, so Mara, a crypto miner, should continue to be relatively bullish as it kind of catches up to the other Bitcoin related tickers like Coin or MSTR, right? So COIN, right? Coinbase, or MSTR, which obviously both of these two both of these two tickers had amazing fall through days today, right? All right, so that's Mara, and the other one that I want to look at is CLSK. So this is the main swing trade idea that I want to potentially grab a position in by the end of this week. And the reason why is that, well, let's do a quick technical analysis on this one. So on the weekly time frame, after making such a rapid move up since last year's October's lows, again, just take a look at the percentage here, right? Percentage return. 552% return, about, to the most recent highs. That's a huge run, all right? And so far, after that huge run, we've been holding those gains, those returns. And usually when we see this type of perfect textbook consolidation, we tend to see higher highs and higher lows, or simply a continuation of that current uptrend. So on the weekly time frame, we clearly have a massive macro bull flag that we've been forming on the weekly time frame. So what we have here is a descending resistance trend line and an ascending support trend line that overall makes up this huge weekly bull flag. Now, as far as the horizontal levels, we also have a nice level of horizontal support at the whole number level of $15, and we also have a nice horizontal level of resistance at the whole number level of $20. And so for the past couple of weeks, or actually for most part of this year, we've been consolidating in between this $15 and $20 support levels, and we've been really just consolidating very well as it continues to stick to the parameters set up by these two trend lines, this descending level of resistance and ascending level of support. So now the only kind of risk that we have here, this downside risk that we have for this name, is that there is a possibility that this very large macro bull flag can be negated. Why? Well, because this bull flag is taking too long to form before a breakout, right? So whenever we do see just elongated, that's a perfect word there, an elongated, stretched out consolidation within a chart pattern, that usually indicates that there is a loss of interest, where we can see the other side, which is in our case for this ticker, these sellers coming back in and taking that interest back from the buyers. And that usually leads into a complete failure and negation of this very nice bullish chart pattern. So that's kind of the pessimistic side to this chart pattern. But overall, from a weekly perspective, this is a picture perfect bull flag. Right? So CLSK, that was on the weekly time frame. But now if you go on the daily time frame, you can clearly see how well this name has consolidated as the price continues to stick right at all of my three moving averages, my simple moving averages or SMAs, my daily 10, my red line here, my daily 21 SMAs, 21 SMA rather, this light blue line, and my daily 50 SMA, which is my dark blue line. So when you have the daily 50 SMA coiling with my shorter term momentum SMA pair, the daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs, that usually indicates that we have a very strong consolidation phase. And this strong consolidation phase usually indicates that there is some heavy accumulation going on, and we also have volume to literally, quite literally, confirm that. So you guys see all these nice large green spike volume bars here, right? This usually indicates that we are seeing constant buying, big buying from the overall buyers, right? And so during this consolidation phase where we usually see some lower volume, right? And we can clearly see that from the average volume line here, which is the orange line, right? We saw a nice peak at the explosive move to the upside, that 550% plus return to the upside, and then we saw the volume drastically coming back down and now staying at stable, I guess, ranges for the volume as we continue to consolidate and as we continue to see some very, very solid textbook accumulation. So with all of that being said, okay, CLSK has a complete simple entry point for us, and that is one simple breakout entry point over $20. So specifically for me, I want to see an entry point over $20.20. However, if you guys want to be able to see more confirmation that we can break out of this $20 horizontal resistance level on top of the descending resistance trend line, okay, again, just to remind you guys, this makes up the overall macro bull flag in the weekly time frame. You guys can just look for a $20.55 entry point. Now, why 20.55? Well, first of all, we had this previous pivot high point, okay? And this previous pivot high point on this daily candlestick has a high of the day price print at 20.49, which we can round up to the whole number level of 20.50. And so if you want confirmation, we need to be able to break over this previous pivot high point and obviously over that whole number level of 20.50, which is the reason why I have chosen 20.55 as the official breakout confirmation point. If you guys really want that double confirmation, essentially, that we can break over this descending resistance trend line and this horizontal resistance level, this whole number resistance level at $20. All right. And so for CLSK, I will most definitely give you guys an option contract to execute on if you do see that entry point, just like what I did today on Mara. So make sure you guys look at the private CFO Discord. Make sure you guys have notifications on, especially on for the actual trade idea. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I just really wanted to, off the top of my head, go over the markets, what we're looking at, so SPY and IWM, and just give you guys some very quick swing trade ideas that we have on now and potential new swing trade ideas like CLSK in this video. So if you guys really enjoyed this insightful and most importantly, applicable technical analysis video here, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up down below. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. But most importantly, if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit that notification bell to know when I am live and when I have uploaded a new YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the live stream.